Good morning. I am reading from the book The Badge and the Burden, Honoring America's Law Enforcement Heroes by Bennett Springwell. And I am on chapter 4, Wounds You Don't See. There are wounds that bleed, and there are wounds that bury themselves deep within the soul, silent, invisible, but just as real. Law enforcement officers face both. While many picture high-speed pursuits and tense standoffs, few think of what comes after: the quiet drive home with shaking hands, the sleepless nights, the images that replay again and again behind closed doors. Officers see the worst of humanity, and then they're expected to go back to dinner, to soccer games, to normal. But nothing is ever quite the same. Every officer carries a personal vault filled with the voices of victims, the cries of grieving families, the faces of the lost. It isn't a burden they choose. It's a burden they accept because they took the oath, because they're needed, because someone has to hold the line. Detective Aaron Cole once said, "I've seen things I wouldn't wish on anyone, and I've had to smile through barbecues and holidays like I'm fine. But some memories never leave you. You just learn to carry them quietly. These wounds don't show up on x-rays. There are no bandages for a mind worn thin by violence, betrayal, and fear. There is no cast for a heart broken by tragedy after tragedy. And yet, they show up again and again. Many suffer in silence out of pride or fear of appearing weak, fear of losing their badge, fear of being misunderstood. In a world that demands stoicism over sensitivity. But the truth is, even the strongest among us break. Post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, is not a veteran's issue alone. It walks through precinct halls. It rides in the passenger seat of patrol cars. It sits at the kitchen table when officers can't explain why. They're distant or angry or numb. And still they keep going. Because despite the damage, despite the ache, there is purpose. And purpose can carry you far, but only for so long without support. That's why it's time we recognize the wounds we don't see, not as a weakness, but as proof of what they've endured, not as shameful, but as sacred reminders that they gave something of themselves for someone else's safety. We must create space for officers to heal without fear of judgment. We must build departments that protect not only the public, but the protectors. We must offer compassion as freely as we expect courage, because heroes bleed too, and their healing matters. To every officer carrying pain behind your badge, To every warrior fighting battles no one else knows about, you are not broken, you are brave, and you are not alone. The next video will be Chapter 5, The Family Behind the Shield. And this is from the book, The Badge and the Burden, Honoring America's Law Enforcement Heroes by Bennett Springwell. And this book is available on Amazon. I love you all. Bye.